It's time for another book review, people. So in this case I'm going to review a book that I almost didn't finish. It left me quite frustrated at first. I was thinking to myself, why am I wasting my time with this book? Why did this person even bother writing this book? I thought, here's somebody who made a point of writing a book a whole book in order to state the bleeding obvious. And then I realized that clearly it is not so bleeding obvious to an awful lot of people. And that is the reason why he felt so compelled to write this book. And with that realization I started enjoying the book quite a lot. And I thought in the end, after finishing it, that it was actually well worth the read, and I would recommend it to all of you. So without further ado, here is the book, The Black Swan, by Nassim Taleb. What is it about? Well, it is basically kind of an elaboration of a motto that I've already put on my channel, for example. Reality is crazier than you. You think you might have your life under control. You think you might understand what happens in reality, how things can happen randomly, and you think you've got it all under control, and then of course, because you're lulled into this false sense of security, every now and again life will throw you a curveball. It will come left of field, completely unexpected, and take you by surprise and trip you up really, really badly. Of course, the converse is also true. Somebody sometimes really lucks out. And these are occurrences that Nassim Taleb has named black swans. They are outside the realm of the expected, of what people consider to be probable. And this is his argument, and it's a completely valid argument, that a lot of people, whilst accepting on an intellectual level that reality is unpredictable, that things happen in reality that we cannot predict with certainty, they are lulled into a false sense of security. They think that what happens in reality is a sort of unpredictability that we can understand. The tame sort of unpredictability that you would see in a normal distribution, a Gaussian curve. And this seems to be a misunderstanding, a misconception that is so ingrained that even professionals in their respective fields seem to be utterly unable to accept that reality simply isn't like that. In the stock exchanges, for example, an awful lot of people have their business models, their models that are designed to maximize their profits, and yet they're built on these normal distributions, these Gaussian curves, and they completely fail to take into account the possibility that something happens that is completely unexpected, that wasn't even considered or conceived as remotely possible, and therefore will take you completely by surprise. And that is something that he elaborates on very clearly in this book, that he explains, and that he tells you how to learn to live with in reality. The randomness that we see in reality is not a normal distribution. There is this, what he calls the fat tail effect, where sometimes something so inexplicable happens, so out of the ordinary happens, that it cannot be predicted, but there are still, and this is also something that he elaborates on in this book, there are ways to cope with this randomness, to keep it into account, to make sure that you take the risks when it's appropriate to take the risks, and so on and so forth. After realizing that that's what this book was all about, I really started enjoying it. And that's why I'm now here recommending it to you. give it a go. It's well worth a read.